What's up guys, it's your boy Coded99 again, and welcome back to my channel. So what I do on this channel is to offer my 10 cents on how we can grow in various aspects of our lives as individuals. And one of the means as which I do this is by bringing you book reviews, pointing out the lessons I personally learned from these books so you can learn from them as well. So if you'd like to know what the book title, Things I Wish I Had Known Before We Got Married, is all about, definitely keep your eyes on the screen. I uploaded a video last month titled Common Mistakes in Relationships or Marriages, and I received some questions mostly about relationships. So that's why I chose to review this particular book, because I think it answers most of those questions. This book is for singles, for those who are in a relationship, those who are engaged, and even those who are married. Many of you would agree with me that those married couples who actually wanted to be sure they weren't making a mistake in the choice of their life partner actually read this book, because it is super packed. The author is Chapman, and one disclaimer he gave in the book is that this book is not a book on how to plan a wedding. It is a book on how to have a successful marriage. Alright, that's enough. Let's dive in already. I'll start by breaking this book into segments. The love segment, the background, emotional intelligence, roles in the home, finances, sex, in-laws, spirituality, and lastly, personality. That sounds like a lot, but I'll be hitting the hammer on the nail, so this won't take time. So there is this bubble. When you see her, you're mesmerized. You like how she talks, you like her looks. She's like the best thing in the world. The author also felt the same way with his wife, and he called them the Tingles. Chapman said he gave premarital counsel to a lot of couples, and he noticed a particular trend, that when he asked them the question, why do you want to get married? The answer is because they love themselves. They still feel the tingles and the bubbles. He said the tingles are actually good. In fact, they are really important, and he doesn't think that one should get married without those tingles. But just like the author, I also don't think that being in love should be the foundation for a happy marriage. I believe that relationships or marriages are as logical as well as they are emotional. So you should not just love and forget your reasoning, if you get what I mean. Being in love is an emotional and obsessive experience. However, emotions change and obsession fades. He said research indicates that the average lifespan of the in-love obsession is 2 years. That is obviously not long. And for some people, it's even lesser than 2 years. It terms the tingles phase the first stage of love. And the second stage is much more intentional than this first stage. You've got to work hard. This work is called speaking your partner's love language. And there are 5 of them: words of affirmation, receiving gifts, acts of service, physical touch, and quality time. I spoke briefly about these in one of my videos, and you can check it out right here. Basically, as we all have different backgrounds, a person who grew up not receiving words of affirmation will find it really difficult to give it if their partner's love language is words of affirmation. So for my brothers and sisters out there who are in a relationship, engaged or married, well done. Keep working hard. Next up is the background. This book helped me understand that the saying like mother like daughter or like father like son is not a myth. And this does not mean that the lady you would marry will turn out to be like a mother, or the man you would marry will turn out to be like his father. The point here is that both males and females are greatly influenced by their parents. Most of us are like our parents than we realize, and it can be observed in the little things we do. Chapman cited an example. He said if you observe that his father always works out on his mom whenever they're having an argument, then you should expect the same from him. Except if he reads this book and you guys find a healthy way of resolving your conflicts. Chapman encouraged couples to try an experiment of examining the good and bad attributes of their parents. Not necessarily good and bad, but the attributes that they would like to emulate and the ones they won't want to emulate in their relationship or marriage, and they should work towards making those changes. Otherwise, they'll just be the carbon copy of their parents. The next is emotional intelligence. This actually covers settling disagreements, apologizing, and forgiveness. Did you know that you can settle disagreements or arguments without actually arguing. One thing I like about this book is that the author was writing from his real life experience. He wrote about how when he was dating his current wife, he felt they weren't going to have any conflicts. Everything was going to be perfect, but reality shocked him with how heated up the arguments were after marriage. Some may already be going through this phase in their relationship or marriage, but the good thing is that there is a solution. First is to accept that we are two different individuals and we have different likes and dislikes, different desires, different personalities. And second is to accept that there will be conflict. It could be major or minor, but it will surely happen. Sometimes what happens is that we think our ideas are the best. And guess what? Your partner thinks the same way too. So instead of the tussle of whose idea is the best and whose idea is not, why not stop and listen to your partner? I know it's hard. It's really hard to listen to someone say this and that and this, which maybe to you doesn't make sense. And you feel the need to actually express yourself as well. But Gary Chapman said the real need at that point is to listen. Note, it is listening and not waiting patiently to talk and blast your partner back. What listening actually does is to help you see things from the other person's perspective. Gary Chapman gave 3 ways of resolving conflicts. One is to meet in the middle. Another way is to meet at one person's side, meaning to follow one person's ideas. Maybe you just want to sacrifice your own, or you think that person's ideas make more sense. And the third way is to meet later, probably when you guys are calm and more logical and ready to have a discussion. Then you can have the discussion. Next is apology.
Real men don't cry. Real men don't apologize. Real men drop the mic. Wow. I salute you. Wow. I salute you, son. Wow.
I hope you got the point. I'm of the opinion that it's a misconception that real men don't cry or real men don't apologize. A misconception that does not produce a happy relationship or a happy marriage. Real men do cry and real men apologize. In fact, fake men don't cry and fake men don't apologize because they try to box in their emotions and display a tougher version of themselves, whereas that's just a destructive facade. The point of this aspect is that apology is not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength. But there is a tricky part to apologizing. Some people will accept when you say, "I'm sorry," and some will not. From this book, I learned that they are not accepting "I'm sorry" because you are not apologizing. It's just because there are apology languages as well. Some people would appreciate you expressing your regrets alongside your apology. For instance,
"I'm sorry for eating the remaining sandwich. I regret making you starve yesterday. That was a selfish thing to do, and I should have asked you before eating it."
Others will also appreciate an apology where you accept your responsibility, and some will want you to show sign of change or repentance. All in all, Gary Chapman calls them the 5 languages of apology. I think you're already feeling the work input, yeah? This is work for the strong. Just like conflicts should be expected, apologizing and forgiveness should be the end goal. That brings me to my next point. Forgiveness. There is always an emotional barrier when one person offends the other or when 2 people offend each other. The offender's apology will soften the barrier, but if the person who was offended does not actually forgive, that barrier is not totally lifted off. And the passing of time does not remove the barrier. So, what does? Total forgiveness does. You must have heard the phrase forgive and forget. I think the forget here is figurative because forgiveness doesn't actually erase our memory. We remember the offense, but we choose to move on. The author also described what forgiveness is and what forgiveness is not. I'm sure you will enjoy what you will learn from this part if you decide to read the book. And that's all for the emotional intelligence category. The next part is the roles in the home. You'll get to learn a lot of things from here, and Gary Chapman titled that chapter, "I wish I had known that toilets are not self-cleaning." If you would like to buy this book, I'll drop 2 links in the description, one for Amazon and one for Book Depository. I personally use Book Depository because it's free shipping, so who doesn't like free shipping? And that's a wrap for today. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, and share this video with your friends or whoever may need it. If you're new to this channel and you like what you see, please subscribe. I would really appreciate the support. I'll be signing off now, and until next time, make sure you keep your soul beautiful. Peace out.